Hey, David Wygant, Roland Studio, 10-minute daily reality check. The greatest thing about the reality check is that reality comes up every minute of every single day. So when I have a reality inspiration and I'm hanging out with a real friend, Adam Gilad.
Yo.
So I got to tell you, Adam, real friends are friends that don't agree with you. They call you out on your shit. Now, I've talked about that. So when a friend comes to one friend and they're being run by Captain Flight and Captain Fight, for those of you who don't know, you know what I'm talking about, right? Explain to them what the two captains are all about.
Well, we've both been in recent situations with a partner who got into serious fight or flight mode. And it's not a small thing. When you're in fight or flight, neurobiology shows that you're literally using different parts of your brain than you would be if your body was calm. If you were somatically just calm down and present, you can actually have a conversation. When someone's in fight or flight, literally they're using a different part of their brain. So it's not like the same part, but different parts of the brain are being used. And anything you say will not land. There's no discussion to be had. And I've learned this the hard way, Dave. I've been studying it for about a year, and I was tested, and I didn't, I was like, as I said to you at dinner, if I was a saint, I would have handled it better. But, when someone is really in fight or flight, there's no point in trying to communicate any intellectual exchange, right? Try to make your point or have them see something. That's not the time to get someone to see something. Your first goal and your only goal, if you have a child or a business partner or a romantic partner, if they're in fight or flight, if they're anxious and if they're agitated, literally the part of their brain that some psychologists call the ambassador parts of your brain that communicate, that connect, are shut down. And it's in fact the fear part, it's the animal part that's scanning the horizon, looking for danger, that's going to be activated. And you're talking to a terrified antelope instead of a human being. So your only goal, and I can't say this hard enough or deep enough or enough, your only goal when someone's in fight or flight is to somatically bring the body temperature down, bring the calm down. That might mean you have to separate for about half an hour, go take a walk. It might mean just stroke her hair for a while without talking. Just let the bodies calm down. Then you can have a conversation.
So the warning signs when they come, because there are a lot of people out there who they will, what did we talk about? We were talking about this on the way out at dinner. In relationships, they will find ways
make it easy to
make it easy
get rid
to
of
leave,
you.
get rid of you.
They'll start invalidating everything about you. And I think we both kind of experienced that. And we're kind of in shock because it seemed to come out of nowhere. But what it did is it came out of fear. So you'll say, like, in my case, I would say something just, oh, that's just all that book knowledge you have. I'm like, okay, it's knowledge. It's actually true.
It doesn't matter where it came from, bazooka gum or book.
You're just saying that because it's fancy words. I'm like, what do you say? You can't win. Oh, you're just saying that because you want me to believe something. I'm like, well, I'm actually saying it because I believe it and I want to share it with you. So there comes a point when people are in fight or flight where it's easier to make you a monster. Right? The totality, like what do we just have? The eclipse, what do they call it? The totality?
Yep.
What was it called? The path of totality. So this is good, actually. So when someone's in fight or flight, when they're really in fear is what that means. When they're afraid, when they're triggered back to their childhood fear, and I think we both just experienced this with people, with our partners, when they go back to that childhood unsafe, insecure, attached style, it's like the path of totality. So it's easier to totally eclipse you and invalidate everything you say and to push you away and to make you the monster and make you the enemy than to actually deal with the complexity of a human relationship. And what often happens, as you and I know, later they'll call and be sorry, right? But while they're in, or if you're listening, if you get into fear, if you didn't have secure attachment as a child, if you get easily triggered and scared and threatened, go take a walk. Don't try to solve anything. Walk away. What would you call them? Captain Fear and Captain Flight and
Captain Fear and Captain Flight.
Captain Flight and Captain Flight.
Captain Fear and Captain Flight.
Or Captain Freeze.
Right.
Don't forget about Freeze.
It could be Captain Fear and Flight Attendant Flight.
Flight Attendant
Right. It could be flight, but
land the plane. When you see those captains, land the plane. Go take a walk around the terminal, and then come back when everybody's a little calmed down. Because literally, you will not be hurt. Or if you're the one who goes into fight or flight because you didn't have secure attachment as a child, you go take a walk. And don't try to accomplish anything while your bodies are agitated.
the worst part of when you're dealing with captain and flight attendants, or first purser, is it feels like, and this is something that I've talked to a lot of people about.
Yeah.
It feels like the relationship that you were in just a week ago.
Yeah.
Is an entirely different relationship.
Different part of the brain is operating. Yeah. It's like literally a different system.
And it's confusing. And you almost, I know in a situation like that, I tend to listen to the words, and it's also really confusing. You're thinking to yourself, who is this person?
Right. It's a different person.
Right. Is this the person right now that's being dominated by Captain Flight and First Lieutenant Flight, Captain Flight and Captain Fear?
They got promoted. Yeah.
Fight or fight, right?
Okay.
Is this the person? Because a lot of people will say, well, they're just showing you who they really are.
Well, yes and no. Here's my take on this. So everybody knows about the triune brain. Everyone knows there's a medulla and a cerebrum and a cerebellum, right? And the prefrontal cortex is the part that makes us human. And it sounds easy, 3 parts of the brain. In fact, there are probably hundreds parts of the brain. There's trillions of neural connections. The brain is many, many, many different parts. So when you say who's the real person, I don't even believe that anymore. The real person is someone who can, no matter what their state, regulate their emotions and regulate their conscious mind. That's a practice. That's not easy, especially if you're not securely attached, especially if you get easily triggered. So I love this. This is from a book called Wired for Love, Dr. Stan Tatkin, where he talks about, this is amazing, that when you're in fight or flight, you have a section of your brain, I believe it's the dorsal visual system, which is the part, I may have it backwards, which is the part that scans the horizon for danger. Right, it's it's like a circuit, a pathway in your brain that's looking for danger. The other way, if you're sitting with a partner and you're talking to them face to face, then the other system, the ventral, did I say ventral? Dorsal and ventral. The ventral visual system is working. Now, these are literally different parts of the brain. And this is why I know you believe this, and we've just talked about it. You never text fucking important things to each other because you're not looking at each other's faces, right? When you're not sitting with a partner face to face like we are now, like we're not smooching or anything, but I'm close to you. So my brain understands that you're safe, right? We're friends. We're looking at each other's eyes. I can see your facial expressions. You're nodding slightly. So my body calms down. He's safe. So what happens is I'm using the parts of my brain that says this person is part of my tribe. He's safe. Right? I can communicate with this person as a real human being. If I can't see you and we're texting or even on the phone and I can't see your face and we can't do all this facial interaction, I don't mean kissing, but like looking at your eyes, looking at your expressions, I'm using an entirely fucking different part of my brain, scanning the horizon, looking for danger. That's why texting about important things is murder in relationships. That's another good piece of advice. If you've got something important to say, wait till you can do it face to face.
It's interesting because I recently went through some text stuff and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, you knew. You were like, I don't want to do this on text. I don't want to do it on text
anymore. I just want to see your face.
Right.
I want to see your face. And
good instinct.
It's not that I hate texting. This is what I love texting for. In the middle of the day,
flirting.
I love you. In the middle of the day, I'm thinking about you.
Yes.
In the middle of the day, I want to see you later. In the middle of the day, babe, I want to share something that happened to me in the middle of the day.
Right.
And I think it's fantastic. I think phone calls are great. Driving, talking on the way to work.
Checking in, flirting.
Flirting, blah, blah, blah. But important issues
face to face
should never, ever be spoken unless it's face to face, because you're 100% right, because it triggers a whole different response system instead of the other response system, because then you can also hear somebody and literally realize, well, Captain Flight and Captain Fancy and Captain Fight or Flight, however, the characters we're talking about, you can literally see them come out. And I hate when the worst is that the things that I really don't like is that when you're being unvalidated by somebody that validated you. When
it hurts.
A week ago, you can literally go back and photos, you can literally screenshot.
But you said this.
And go, look, I'm sorry, but this was your behavior for how many days? This is your behavior
but it doesn't matter.
120
See, that's
days,
that thing about what's real or not real. Who's the real person? They're both the real person. That's the afraid person and that's the not afraid person. Different person.
Okay, but what about, the afraid person or the different person? What about if you were willing to love? The car just wants to keep talking.
The car loves talking. Yeah.
So what if you said you loved both people?
You have to. Love means you accept that people have their triggers. People look. I just came back from Burning Man, and I went to a workshop on navigating polyamorous relationships. And it was awesome because this stuff was actually good for any relationships. And somebody said something really smart, one of the teachers from Sweden. He said, here's what relationship is. It's not like, oh, we're going to, drink wine and take walks and be romantic. Here's what relationship is. You hurt each other, you heal. You hurt each other, you heal. You hurt each other a little less, you heal a little faster. You hurt each other a little less, you heal faster. You hurt and you heal, you hurt and you heal. That's actually what happens in relationship because you get triggered. All your fears do come up.
Sign me up.
So yeah, you get into relationship. Dr. Tacken has this great thing. The vows should be, do you take this pain in the ass to be your wife or husband, along with all their exes and all their parental mistakes and all the bullshit from their culture and their religion? Do you take all that to be your partner? Because you are. You're taking all that messed up person to be yours, and they're taking all your messed upness to be theirs. And it's healthy to go into a relationship going, hey, we're going to trigger each other. We're going to get scared. And we need the skills to navigate back to love, to bring it back to love before anything important gets said. And in fact, when I was at this workshop, the guy who taught it, it was really interesting. After every point he made or question, he would have everyone take a deep breath. And he pointed out about halfway through, the reason I do that is to help you practice how to navigate tough situations in relationship. Calm your fucking body down. So he was confirming everything I've been studying. Really important to do. Just those deep breaths, just to bring your body temperature, that tension, the anxiety down, back to calmness, so you can actually communicate.
Why, when the going gets tough, a lot of people get moving now? Why?
That's a good question.
It's a really interesting thing because I do notice it a lot. I feel like in today's modern world, it's harder to meet people than ever before. It's the biggest challenge now to get somebody to commit.
Yeah, it's really true.
It's the biggest challenge now. People make excuses all the time. Well, I gotta spend time with my kids. I gotta go spend time, picking my toenails.
But you're also older and
gardening.
People have fuller lives. So we're not 25 anymore. So people have fuller lives.
We merge our full lives to make our lives easier together. We merge our lives so we can make each other. And that was something that I learned in the relationship was I wanted to do anything I possibly could to make this person's life easier.
Yeah.
Because it brings joy. Because I know that I have chosen somebody that's got triggers and they're real and they had
a hard time receiving,
and they got a hard time doing this or that, and and I understand that. It's like when I sign up and I commit to a relationship, I sign up for all their shit, and I know they're going to bring shit.
It's true.
People will look at you and go, well, you can do better, or you can do this, or you can do that. That's something where if your friend is validating, and especially if you have a behavior pattern and your friend validates it, you got to really look at your friend again, because friends don't need to.
If you have a behavior pattern that doesn't serve you,
right? Friends don't need to gang up on you and help you. Friends need to gang up on you and kick you in the ass.
No, this is interesting. We were talking about this. Like, I laugh when women put up photographs and all the women, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so beautiful.
Oh my God.
But there's women, because generally this is what they do. They confirm each other. They affirm each other. They create good feelings with each other. Guys aren't really like that. So in many ways, your guy friends, you've got to ask them, if these are guys listening, you've got to ask them to be really honest with you. And women too. Say, tell me the truth. And I'm going to tell you a really good line. It's really useful. If you really want to know the truth about something, say, please tell me the truth, and anything you say is okay. And then you have to be okay with that. Because you have to give people permission to say the truth, because why would they break a social bond unless they felt safe? So it's a really important little phrase I like to add. Tell me the truth as you see it, and anything you say is actually okay. And then you can't argue with them. You have to accept it.
I love that, but I'm sad for the state of relationships in today's society.
It's tough.
I just think people bail at the first sign.
Yeah. I have a macroeconomic theory about that.
What?
Okay. So it comes from Karl Marx. So Marx had this concept called economic determinism. It's in my new book. And economic determinism means economic structures determine social forms. So marriage came out of ownership. Marriage came out of agriculture. It didn't exist before agriculture. You basically bought a wife. You owned a wife, right? You give dowry and you bought a wife. So you own your wife. That's the origin of marriage. And the concept as it developed was you kind of own each other for life, which usually wasn't that long anyway. Now we don't live in an ownership society anymore. We live in a lease option society.
Look at the price of real estate. Everything is a lease option.
Everything's a lease option. If AT&T doesn't
Nobody
serve,
owns anything.
Yeah, you switch to Verizon. If your Cadillac breaks down, you get a Honda. If you get married or you're in a relationship and you think they're amazing and then suddenly they get triggered and get angry at you, new girl, Tinder, OkCupid, Match, Bumble. Where do you want to go? Now, there's a positive and negative to this. The positive side is, I believe, because it's a competitive economy now for dating, you got to up your game. You have to be more sensitive, thoughtful. You have to be more self-aware. You have to learn how to navigate intimacy, which most people don't know how to do. I mean, I've really been studying this last couple of years because I sucked at it. And then the downside is, and this is what you were pointing to, at exactly the point where things go bad, that's like your signal. Here's where the healing happens. Here's where the change happens.
Yes.
Here's how we can really grow and
Yes.
deepen and all the good things in life that makes us wiser. But everybody runs just at that moment. I've had that situation. It's really painful.
It's so painful because I look at somebody who I love,
Mhm.
and I look at them and I literally will say, this is the moment I've been waiting for. This is the moment where we actually will grow. This is the moment. And I tell people this all the time that I'm coaching.
When it's hard.
It's like the minute it gets hard,
Yep.
the minute you get triggered, the minute Captain Flight or Captain Fight comes out, right? I got them right this time. The minute you feel like, your best friends tell you, yeah, you dodged a bullet here, even though this is something I've also said about your friends have not been in the bedroom with you. Your friends have not been on the date.
We're in California, so,
Your friends have not done the day-to-day with you. Your friends didn't know what it was like to wake up to the person. Your friends didn't know any of this stuff. So they can say, that's the warning sign you're looking for, because that's what people do, is that they bail.
They want to make you feel better.
They want to make you feel better, but in reality, your friends just be like, wow, look at that. You just got triggered really fucking bad.
Yeah.
Captain Flight and Captain Fight came out. So now, and wait a second, let me ask you, does this person still love you? Does this person still want to be around? Does this person actually still love you when you're absolutely at your fucking worst? Wait a second. You just talked to them and you were mean for 45 minutes, right? Or whatever,
Maybe
you
you need to look at that.
And you didn't say anything positive. And at the end of it, they just still said they loved you. Holy shit. Can you do some fucking growing right now with this person?
Right. I'll end with this. We talk about the hero's journey, right? The hero's journey. One thing you never see in a hero's journey story is somebody sitting at home watching TV and, eating pizza and kind of taking it easy and never being challenged. Just not a heroic journey. Heroic journeys happen at points of conflict, points of danger, points of thresholds. We have to step into new, uncharted, and scary territory. And folks, that's where relationship creates wisdom. That's where relationship becomes intimacy. That's where love really happens. That's the last thing I'll say.
And I agree. That's when love really happens. And the worst thing is, if somebody bails on you when love could really happen, then you literally, unfortunately, are going to have to go out and do it again. And the problem is, the next time the universe may not deliver that wonderful love that it just delivered. It may deliver what you're most comfortable with. So then all of a sudden you're in another abusive relationship. You're in another relationship that's not satisfying.
If you don't learn.
Right, if you don't learn. You're in another relationship that doesn't suit you or serve you because you're comfortable with it, because it's actually something that you're used to.
Because it confirms like I was with someone who was looking for confirmation that she was a victim all her life. And it affected our relationship as well. Victim became the identity.
Adam, what's your website?
Smart Daters Academy, where I really try to teach these skills. I've been reading the top books, and I make classes about the top books so that people can really understand the skills you need. Because this shit ain't easy, man. Nobody teaches this. You don't learn in high school. Your parents don't know it. It's just skill. The kind of thing that you're going through as well. Learning the skills, how to navigate those hard points so you can actually create love. Because it's a nice thing when you can create it. So smartdatersacademy.com. Thanks, man.
I'm all about love, you know? And that's my reality. No matter what, you can kick me, you can... that's the one thing I've learned, is that I will let and allow a woman to sit there and say whatever the fuck she wants, and I will sit and I will take it and I will listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I will come back with as much love as I possibly can, because I will not take Captain Flight or Captain Fight
and let them own it.
Yeah. I will not call them out on it until they're ready to hear it, nor will I allow Captain Flight or Captain Fight to kick me off the airplane called love, because I'm not on a love boat. I'm on a love fucking plane, and I'm going to a higher fucking level of consciousness, and I want a partner to do it with, because I truly believe that a partner will bring me there far greater than me bringing myself.
Co-pilots, baby.
That's right. I'm looking for the co-pilot. I don't want to mentally masturbate myself to fucking sleep every night with all my wisdom. 10-minute daily reality check out. Join me every single day by myself and with great guests.